and welcome to this week's session. My name is Linadia and I will be a yoga teacher for today. I hope everyone is feeling well and healthy and ready to get moving. It's been quite hot these days, but if you are maybe doing this in a different season or you're doing it somewhere where it's cold, please make sure you've got a blanket nearby so you can cover yourself at the end. Additionally, please make sure you've got your blocks and straps if you may need them. But otherwise, yeah, that's all with regard to that. Today's session is going to be a session that is mainly focused on the hips, but at the same time, it is also friendly for those who may have wrist aches or wrist problems, or maybe a pain in the hand for some reason. Then this will be friendly towards you as well. We won't have any downward dogs, so if you're not a fan of downward dogs, then it's your lucky day. But otherwise, yeah, we'll get started. So we'll get started in our comfortable seated position. So you could be in your cross-legged position. You could do a half lotus with the 1 foot up, or just 1 foot by your leg, or you could just be in your simple, easy pose or any sort of variation of your cross-legged pose that you'd like. All right, so placing the hands on top of the knees. And then as usual, we just start off by becoming centered, by becoming present. So yoga is in and of itself a moving meditation. And so as we begin, we want to just begin with a calm sense of mind and a calm body. And then we can maintain that throughout our practice, moving with the body and the breath. But first, we become present, bringing your mind into your space, whether it be in a room or outside or any variation of either. Leaving anything and everything that is not important in this moment outside of your space. And once you feel grounded in your space, bringing the mind into the body and just doing a quick scan through the body, making sure that you're not holding any tension in any place in the body. So checking through the face, the forehead, the eyebrows, releasing through the jaw, checking through the neck down into the shoulders, down the arms and the torso, into the hips, the butt cheeks, the perineum in the middle, down through the legs, into the feet. The body is calm and relaxed. From here, we bring our attention to our breath, simply observing the breath, not forcing or changing anything. And then from here, we can start to set our intention. Your intention can be anything on or off the mat. And then once we feel grounded enough, now we start to deepen the breath, really activating through the breath, taking deep breaths into the belly. And as we exhale, we pull the belly back in, pushing all the old stale air out of the lungs. As we inhale, we breathe in fresh, new breath fresh new oxygen, fresh new life force into the body. And as we exhale, we expel anything and everything that is not of use to the body. Taking deep breaths, activating through the Ujjayi breath if you're familiar. And then we're just going to start off by loosening through the body. So first off, I'd like for you to swap feet. Starting to change things a little bit, coming into your maybe a bit less comfortable version of your cross-legged position. And then we're going to start off by rolling through the neck. Making nice big circles with the neck, and while we do so, making sure that our shoulders are far away from the ears. So really pushing the shoulders back and down, and then changing directions. And then bringing the head back to center, sitting up tall. Then placing the hands on the on the knees, rolling through the shoulders. Taking deep breaths. And then changing directions with the shoulders. And then next up, we're going to turn through the torso. So again, sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders. And then we're going to make big circles with the torso. Coming down as far forward as you can, coming to the side as far as you can, and coming back as far as you can without tipping over. Loosening through the torso here, taking big breaths. Changing directions. And then coming up tall again, sitting up tall. And then we're going to twist through the torso. So placing the right hand behind the body, left hand on the right knee, inhale, grow tall. And as we exhale, twisting. Taking big breaths. And then we're going to change direction, so coming back forward. Now we place the left hand behind us, right hand on the left knee, inhale, grow tall, and as we exhale, we twist. Looking as far behind us as we can. And then inhale, coming forward. I'm going to come sideways now on my mat. We're going to place our knees onto our mat and then just windshield wipe the legs, so bring them side to side. Some of us might feel something here. Some of us might not feel much. But the point is just to open up the body. As we were twisting through from the top, obviously we can't twist through the legs as much. Breathing. Next up, we've got the ankles. So placing your one foot onto the mat, bringing the other ankle over the knee. And then here, this might be a bit intense for your thigh or for your butt cheek. If it's a bit too much for you, you can straighten the leg. But there are benefits, to the slight stretch or maybe more intense stretch through the thigh and the leg. So if this is too much, you can straighten the leg. But if you can cope, then I would advise that you do so. All right, and then we're going to start off twisting through the through the ankle. Really rolling the foot as much as you can. So we want a large range of motion with the foot here. Breathing. Taking nice deep breaths, changing directions. And then we do the other leg. So placing the foot over the knee. Again, you can straighten the leg if you need. And then twisting through the ankle. And notice if there's any difference between the two ankles. And also in this case, between the stretch through the side here. Just bringing awareness into the body. Changing directions with the foot. Breathing. And then placing both feet on one side of the body, coming onto our hands and knees. If you do have a problem with your wrists, you can come onto your hands and fists. That should alleviate the stress on the wrists. Yeah, so either on the hands and fists, or of course if you don't have a problem, placing the hands onto the mat. So you want to flatten the hands, make sure you're gripping nicely with the hands. So here we're going to start off with our cat-cow. So inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. And on our exhale, we start with our hips, rounding the spine, looking towards the belly. And then inhale, dropping the belly, look up. Exhale, starting from the tailbone, rounding, look towards the belly. One last time, inhale, looking up. And exhale, rounding, looking towards the belly. And then on our inhale, coming back to center. And then here, we're just gonna twist again through the body. So moving the shoulders and the hips in opposite directions. Really rounding and dropping the belly as far forward as you can. And feel free to add any movement to this. So you can come back, come forward. You can bring your chest a whole lot closer to the floor. You can really do whatever you like with this. Make sure to change directions. Playing with the body. Breathing, loosening the body. As always, taking deep breaths as we move. And then keeping the hands on the floor, stepping one foot back. And then we're going to stretch through the calf. So pushing the heel away from the body, pushing out of the shoulders, pushing out of the mat with the hands or with the fists. If you'd like a bit more of a stretch through the calf, you can bring the other knee up off the floor. Breathing. And then we're going to swap legs now. So once again, pushing away from the body with the heel, pushing out of the arms, pushing out to the shoulders. If you'd like more, bringing the other knee up off the floor. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Inhale, and on your exhale, coming back down onto the knees. And then we're going to step our right foot to the outside of our right hand, leaning forward. You might want to heel to the foot a bit more forward. We want to make sure that we've got a straight line coming from our knee to our ankles. We don't want our knee to pass our ankle, so we don't want to be like this. Straight line. And we also want to make sure that we've got a nice comfortable stretch here in our hip flexors. So we don't want to be up here. And then here, we really starting off with stretching through the legs, or through the hips rather. You can sway side to side here, really loosening through the hips. Taking deep breaths. And then you can turn the foot onto its side if you like. So bringing the sole up off of the floor if you feel comfortable here. And then you can either stay up here. If you'd like a bit more of a stretch through the hips, you can place the hand on the knee and push it out away from you. If you feel comfortable up here and you'd like to come down, you can come down with the elbows onto the floor. Maybe you can get one elbow onto the floor and the other hand has to be up on the palm. That's also okay. Slowly, we'll be able to come down with both. Or if you'd really like to bring down both elbows, you can bring the blocks underneath your elbows and then have them here. Taking deep breaths. Really loosening through the hips. And then inhale, pushing up onto the hands or onto the fists once again. Heel toe the foot to in between the hands, so we're in our low lunge. We're going to inhale, come up, so pushing yourself up, grow tall. And then you're going to place the hands behind the body. Interlace all the fingers. Inhale, puff up the chest, drawing the hands down towards the floor. And on your exhale, coming forward as much as you can, bringing the arms up off the floor as much as you can. Breathing here. And then inhale, coming back up, placing the hands back onto the floor, and then we heel toe the foot to the other hand, coming down into our pigeon pose. So we can allow the foot to come in as much as it needs or to come up as much as you'd like. Making sure that your other hip is coming down towards the floor. Inhale, push yourself up, grow tall, and on our exhale, coming down onto our elbows, or you can straighten the arms into your full pigeon. Taking some nice deep breaths here. And then on your inhale, placing the hands underneath the shoulders, and we push the body back up. If you're very flexible and you'd like to go into your splits from here, you can just straighten this front leg out, come into your side splits. You can pause the video and come into your side splits. Otherwise, the rest of us will meet in our four-legged position, in our tabletop again. So if you have your problem with your wrists coming up onto the fists or onto the palms of your hands, inhale. And then bring yourself out from underneath, back onto your knees, and then we can just shake it out first before we move on to the other side. And then we bring the other foot to the outside of the hands. And then once again, you can step the back knee back a little bit, walk the front leg forward. The important thing is that you've got alignment with the ankle and knee, and that you can feel the stretch through your hip flexor in the front. So we can just relax here, swaying side to side, loosening through the hips, breathing. And then if you'd like, you can bring the foot onto its sole. And then once again here, you can push the knee out if you'd like to really increase the stretch in the hip Opening up the hip a little bit more. You can come down onto the elbows or one elbow or onto your blocks if you'd like. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Taking big breaths here, imagining all the oxygen that you're breathing going straight into the hips. And then coming back up onto your hands or onto your fists. Coming up onto the sole and then heel toeing the foot to the insides of the hands. Placing the hands on the knee, push yourself up, grow tall. And then interlacing the fingers behind the back. Inhale, puff up the chest, drawing the fingers down. And then on your exhale, coming back forward. Stretching through the shoulders here. And then inhale, come back up, placing the hands back onto the floor, heel toeing the foot to the opposite hand. And then we allow the knee to come down as we allow the foot to come in as much as it needs. Squaring off the hips, so drawing the opposite hip down towards the floor. Inhale, push yourself up. And then exhale, coming down onto the elbows. And then from here we can straighten the arms if we feel comfortable. Taking deep breaths. Once again, imagining all the oxygen that you're breathing going straight to the hips, and in this case, the thigh and the butt cheek as well. On our next inhale, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, push yourself up, tuck through the back toes, lift up the body, and bring the leg out from underneath the body. And then we can shake it out just slightly. Next up, we're going to come back onto our bums, so bringing both feet to one side, sitting onto your bum. And then we're going to come into our wide-legged forward fold, so bringing the legs as wide as they can go, and then bringing the bum flesh out. I know it's a bit strange, but it really helps you to sit up straight. So having your legs wide, toes are pointing up, or even better, drawing towards the shins. Inhale, bring the arms up, grow tall, and on our exhale, leaning forward as far forward as we can go. Maintaining the feet flexed and stretching forward with the fingers. Breathing. Allowing each exhale to help you come a little bit further into our forward fold. Big breath, and then our exhale, coming back up. The head comes up last. Bringing the soles of the feet together, and we're going to come into our butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So, first we're just going to butterfly the legs. So we'll just flop the feet up and down, loosening through the hips. Hopefully they're already loose. And then here you'll just do what you can. If you already feel a lot with the feet together, close together, then you can draw them a bit further apart from the hips. But as always, we always want to challenge ourselves. So drawing them in if you can. And then inhale, grow tall. Bring the feet in further if they can come further. You'll bring out the butt cheeks again. Inhale, grow tall, puff out the chest. Feel the shoulders relaxing in this pose. And then exhale, come forward with a flat back. And then once you reach your stopping point, we relax the head. Using your elbows to push the knees out. Taking deep breaths. Envisioning the air that you're breathing going straight to the hips, and in this case also maybe the spine and the neck. But your back should be as flat as it can be, and like I said, just the head is relaxed. And then on our next inhale, rolling the spine, coming back up. The head comes up last. Bringing the knees again together. And then we can windshield wipe the legs again. And then if you aren't already sideways on your mat, coming sideways on your mat. And then relaxing down onto your back. If you'd like to continue with the hip opening exercises, you can relax in your Shavasana with the feet together, knees laying out apart. Or if your back is feeling a bit tender, you can bring the soles of the feet onto the mat, toes pointing towards each other, so pointing inward, and then the knees resting on one another. Here your back is a bit more flat. Or we can go for the traditional version of our Shavasana with the legs out long. Once again, if it's cold where you are, just covering yourself with the blanket. And then just resting the body. Doing a quick scan through the body, making sure that the entire body is relaxed. Sinking down into the floor, similar to the scan that we do in the beginning. Our Shavasana is very important because it helps us to really seal in our practice through the body, allows the body to relax and to incorporate everything that we've done, and allows the mind to relax. Also in conjunction with our practice. And then once you relax through the body, coming to relax through the mind by focusing on the present moment. And in this present moment, all that we are doing is laying on the floor and breathing. Paying attention to the air coming in and coming out of the nostrils, and feeling as the belly rises and falls with each breath. If you find that the mind starts to wander, simply acknowledging that the mind has wandered and bringing the attention back to the breath. If you'd like to stay here for longer, please do. Otherwise, starting to wake up the body by wiggling through the fingers, wiggling through the toes. And whenever you feel ready, bringing the knees up, turning over onto one side. And then we push ourselves up and come into our cross-legged position. Bring the hands to the sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. And again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms come down to the heart. And one last time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down to your heart. Take some time to reflect back on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And to thank yourself for dedicating this time to your mind and to your body. And I thank you for joining me. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. There's a new session every week. And there's lots of different variants of our sessions. Have a lovely day.